Well, hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. So you know how this week's YouTube rules prohibit me from promoting firearms sales by linking to sites where you can buy even gun-related stuff? Well, there isn't a damn thing stopping me from promoting gun rights by linking to worthy gun rights organizations. And seeing as how oligarch and Cylon sympathizer Michael Bloomberg is planning to buy some elections with $45 million for control freak politicrators through his front group Everytown, I want to lead off with a call to action today. Now, I normally do this after reporting on some court victory or the like, but today I just want to urge you to donate to any worthy gun rights organization right up front. You'll find convenient links down there in the doobly-doo and on screen right now. Because as much fun as it is to hustle spicy memes, I am here to deliver quality 2A propaganda to change hearts and minds.
Winning of hearts and minds, okay?
But it would be impossible for us to deliver quality 2A propaganda without sponsors, so let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by Franklin Armory. Anything worth shooting is worth shooting twice, and now that braces are back on the menu, Franklin is hooking you up with 3 all-new factory-complete pistol models, all equipped with SB tactical braces and, of course, Franklin Armory binary firing systems. Franklin Armory, those freedom facilitators who brought you twice the pews with their binary firing system, because it's a scientific fact that bad guys with twice as many holes in them are half as dangerous. So in the unfortunate event you should ever need your firearm for defense, remember, it's math. It can't be wrong. And by Vortex, we've been running their new Defender line of red dots hard since before launch. They found a home on all of our guns, whether for concealment, for competition, or anything in between. They are rugged, they are packed with features, and they flat out perform. With the CCW, the ST, and the XL, there is a dot for you, and let's not forget their no questions asked VIP warranty that covers just about anything. And by Hydra. The Mark 15 Hydra is the most versatile black rifle platform the industry has ever seen. The most you will ever need to convert calibers is a barrel, a bolt, and a magazine well. When wealthy oligarchs aren't trying to buy elections, they're buying research. The SAF investigated Enron trader John Arnold and found he and his wife had donated over $185 million to fund research supporting authoritarian policies. And make no mistake, when you donate that kind of money, the researchers know exactly what kind of results they are expected to produce.
You just need to do exactly what we tell you.
An en banc panel of the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals just dropped any pretense of legitimacy by defying the Bruen precedent and ruling in Bianchi versus Wilkinson that Maryland's assault weapons ban is constitutional. The SAF immediately announced they would petition the Supreme Court to appeal this decision, of course, as it really entirely ignores case law. Judge Harvey Wilkinson, a Reagan appointee, wrote in the majority opinion that AR-style rifles fall outside the ambit of protection offered by the Second Amendment because, in essence, they are military-style weapons. Except that's literally the whole point of the 2A.
That's the whole point.
One could even go so far as to argue the Second Amendment only specifically protects militarily useful arms. Only 5 out of the 15-judge panel dissented, one of them writing, "The Second Amendment is not a second-class right subject to the whimsical discretion of federal judges." Sounds familiar. Who else said something about it? Oh, that's right. Justice Thomas said that in the Bruen decision, which came from the Supreme Court, which, as the name might imply, is at a higher level than the Fourth Circuit, which means that the Fourth Circuit has to abide by the rulings of the Supreme Court. The Second Amendment Foundation's Executive Vice President Alan Gottlieb said, "The court relied heavily on the distinction between military-style arms and those appropriate for self-defense. This distinction runs completely contrary to the mandates of both Heller and Bruen, and now sets the stage for another petition for SCOTUS review of the case." I had really hoped we would see courts apply Bruen properly, but the Supremes don't like to be ignored, so I have a good feeling they will take this up, grant cert, and rule properly. It's just frustrating to have to wait so long. The Department of Justice continues to defy FOIA requests submitted by Steven Stambalia requesting records related to the FBI's use of the NICS system to provide background checks to the state of New York for ammo purchases. Stambolia is seeking any records related to conversations that might have taken place between the FBI and the state of New York regarding the acceptable use of NICs, as well as any documents which discuss the legal authority to use NICs in this manner. In response, he received 2 sections of the Code of Federal Regulations. Obviously, Justice has no intention of complying with the request, and they're unlikely to even be able to provide any of these records because they probably don't exist. Congress never did give the FBI the authority to use NICs to do background checks on ammo purchases, and the FBI likely never bothered to discuss the appropriate use with the state of New York. But we got to play the game. The next step here is to file an appeal and wait, but rest assured, Mr. Stambolia will run them into the ground. Oh, and he's covering everything out of his own pocket. What a Chad. The FPC's lawsuit printer goes brrr, and their newest target is Oregon's ban on homemade firearms. It doesn't take a rocket surgeon to note that the right to build your own arms is perhaps the most fundamental form of the right to bear arms. Prerequisite to keeping or bearing is procuring, right? Saying you can't build a gun is no different than claiming you still have a right to worship as you please, even if you're not allowed to build a church. The Second Amendment is, as I mentioned, not a second-class right. Building guns is obviously on its face conduct protected by the Second Amendment, and no one has even tried banning it until recently. So that leaves government lawyers pretty cooked. Or at least it should, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the judges in this case show exactly the same kind of contempt for the Supreme Court that we saw from the Fourth Circuit, to be honest. What do you think? J.D. Vance outed Tim Walz for lying about his military service when he claimed to have used weapons in war, but in reality he ducked out of the guard the second his unit got deployed. I suppose there's some technical reason that what he did is not desertion, but I'm just a poor simple grunt. Me no understand. Anyway, the Walz team went into defensive mode and started circulating an old pic of him cosplaying as Elmer Fudd to tell everybody how not anti-gun he is. This is the same guy who intentionally took himself from an A grade with the NRA to an F and presided over the mostly peaceful riots of the Summer of Love. And now, for your moment of zen. Hey friends, do you like pews and other pew-related things? Would you like to help us keep delivering you pure American pew propaganda at the low price of $3.99? We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. And remember, YouTube thinks they know what you want better than you do, so don't forget to check to see if they unsubscribed you. Again, I love you.